Still looking at me.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing this evening? Mighty here, and welcome back into another reaction video at your service. Yeah, I look like hell. Another busy morning as usual, and it was cloudy, but morally, it was so foggy, and I was afraid that if I ever get to leave home and accidentally take a wrong turn, I might as well end up in Silent Hill, because that's the last thing I want to deal with right now, because too much craziness, and just it's just been a slow morning. That's all it is. But it is the weekends, and I think I just wanted to take my mind off, and I have a latest request that belongs to Storm Shadow, and here is something that let's just say that the legendary manager, but morally a commentator known as Jim Cornette, has a few ways to express on wrestlers that he can't stand. So this is a clip known as 10 wrestlers that Jim hates. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, and without further ado, it's time to react.
Jim Cornette is a polarizing figure in the wrestling world. Loved and loathed by both fans and wrestlers alike, Jim Cornette has been doing a podcast every week.
And this is not for me that I can guarantee you on that.
On those podcasts. And naturally, there are many wrestlers he does not like, and he very much lets his opinions known. Whether it be for their style of wrestling, their beliefs of wrestling what should be, or their bad experiences working together, Jim Cornette dislikes a lot of wrestlers, and today we're going to be talking about 10 of them.
Damn.
This is 10 wrestlers that Jim Cornette hates. Vince Russo will not be mentioned in this video. He's not a wrestler, and I could probably make a whole documentary on the Jim Cornette-Vince Russo feud. Before we get into it, be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a video. So many videos coming out this month, and only a small percentage of you watching these videos are actually subscribed. So if you do enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe. Anyways, on to the video.
What's up, guys? This is WWE Superstar Austin Aries, and you are watching
I'm wondering what has he been doing.
Number 1, Kenny Omega. The former AEW World Champion kicks off the list. Kenny Omega is already a polarizing figure in the wrestling world due to his style of wrestling and many people's beliefs that he is the best wrestler in the world today, which many people also disagree with. And of those people who definitely disagrees with that is, of course, Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette has spoken about Kenny Omega many times on his podcast, criticizing his style of wrestling and giving him the nickname of Kenny Olivier. Jim Cornette has also been very critical of Kenny Omega's early career in Japan. In one quote he stated, "If they gave him his way, he'd probably wrestle the blow-up sex doll on TNT. I'm sure he'd do the 9-year-old girl." This was in response to Kenny Omega supposedly wanting an intergender division in AEW. The two have also engaged in many Twitter arguments, such as this one here. After a fan attempted to attack Chris Jericho live on AEW, Kenny Omega tweeted out saying, "Is it finally time to assume some responsibility and dial the online persona back a bit? Your low IQ man children have evolved from parroting your comments to actually acting out in attempted violence." Kenny Omega tweeted this out as the man who tried to attack Chris Jericho went onto Twitter to try brag about it to Jim Cornette and say he did it for him. Jim Cornette tweeted back saying, "You and I agree for the first time. This guy is a moron, or he wouldn't have been at a show with your phony ass on it. Two clarifications. Unlike you, I've seen violence in an arena, and this wasn't it. And secondly, looking at your supporters, I wouldn't toss the phrase low IQ around." Kenny Omega responded saying, "Hey Jim, I think you're one of the greatest wrestling historians going, and I enjoyed your work with Dark Side of the Ring. For whatever it's worth, I sincerely hope that you're remembered for your positive contributions to the wrestling business. That's all." Number 2, Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace is someone I'd expect Jim Cornette to actually really like as an in-ring worker. She's got an amazing physique, she's great in the ring, and she's a very credible wrestler.
She is known as Thick Mama.
However, Jim Cornette took issue with two things Jordan Grace did. Both of these things being things she did on Twitter that went against Jim Cornette's beliefs in wrestling. Jordan Grace changed her name on Twitter to be her real name of Tricia Parker, which Jim Cornette saw as Jordan Grace disrespecting the business. And the two exchanged tweets back and forth, with Jim Cornette not very happy about Jordan Grace's perspective on this. The next thing Jim Cornette took issue with was Jordan Grace's labeling of professional wrestling as performance art. This prompted a fan to tweet Jim Cornette suggesting someone should defecate in her bag. Very classy. Jim Cornette responded, labeling Jordan Grace as Butterface, which many people took issue with, and understandably so. Number 3, Sammy Callahan. Sammy and Jim have had issues for a number of years now. First dating back to when Sammy Callahan
on Impact Wrestling lately
and accidentally straight up hit Eddie Edwards in the face with a baseball bat. This is something that Jim Cornette absolutely lambasted Sammy Callahan
that's how he got a busted eye.
Sammy Callahan also took issues with comments that Jim Cornette made about Sonny Kiss, and at one point at an MLW show that Jim Cornette was commentating, Sammy Callahan spat water at Jim Cornette whilst making his entrance. One of the first times that one of these feuds really got real. Number 4, Gigi Dolan. Nobody is safe from Jim Cornette, not even the current NXT Women's Tag Team Champion and Toxic Attraction member, Gigi Dolan. She felt the wrath of Jim Cornette's harsh critiques while she was still on the indies and while she was still using the ring name of Priscilla Kelly, her real name. Kelly went viral and divided wrestling fans when a video was released showing a spot from one of her matches in which they used tampon, quotation marks, was used as a weapon. This spot received major backlash from many wrestling personalities, Jim Cornette, of course, included. I went to the spot with the following tweet. People want my take, so I'll give it direct to you. I expect nothing else from outlaw mud show wrestlers, male or female, because none of you can work. But to defend your bullshit by saying, well, it's fake, that's why you, Dick Guy and others are killing wrestling. F you. Gigi responded to this tweet by saying, lol.
LOL.
Number 5, Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt is yet another divisive wrestler on the scene. This is due to Marco's size and stature, with some believing that he does not have the build to be a wrestler, and it's people like him who are killing the business or whatever. And of those people, of course, is Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette has spoken about Marco many times on his podcast, and there are many clips on YouTube of him just ripping into Marco whenever he used to wrestle on Dynamite. Jim Cornette opposes Marco Stunt in wrestling so much to the point that he stopped liking FTR after they had a match with him. FTR were one of Jim Cornette's favourite tag teams in wrestling, but after they had a match against Marco Stunt, Jim Cornette on his podcast stated, "There's another great tag team and two quality guys that I regret saying anything good about." As well as this, he ripped into Tully for letting this match happen, and went on to say the following about FTR. After this match, FTR is as dead as any type of attraction on this program, and probably the biggest personal disappointment of anybody I have been a fan of, because I thought these guys were serious. And they even left a company where they were going to be treated like jokes to come to a company where they're treated like worse jokes. Marco Stunt was the focus of this whole thing. Ouch. Number 6, Santino Marella.
What?
Oh boy, is this a
Santino?
feud to unpack. Quite
My
possibly
dude?
the absolute two polar opposites in their wrestling characters are also seemingly the two polar opposites in their real personalities, as these two do not like each other one bit. Back when Santino Marella was in OVW and Jim Cornette was one of the people in charge of younger and developmental wrestlers, WWE saw greatness in Santino and put a lot of stock into him, which Jim Cornette did not see. In May 2005, Jim Cornette was suspended from the company after slapping Santino Marella, after Santino no-sold a move from the Boogeyman at a live event. Shortly after his return from suspension, Jim Cornette was fired from WWE. 12 years later, the two would get into another altercation at a wrestling convention in late 2017, where the two came face-to-face and Jim Cornette threatened to slap him again. Madness. Number 7, Kevin Steen, or Kevin Owens as you might know him. During his time at Ring of Honor, Jim Cornette made many enemies, and had his fair share of opinions on the wrestlers in the company. According to Kevin Steen from his last Ring of Honor DVD, one of those wrestlers included El Generico, aka Sami Zayn, one of Kevin Steen's best friends. Kevin Steen and El Generico had a legendary year-long feud in Ring of Honor, all leading to Final Battle 2010 in an El Generico's mask versus Kevin Steen's Ring of Honor career match. This match main evented the show over the Ring of Honor title match, and El Generico won this match, meaning Steen had to leave Ring of Honor. But this is where it gets murky, because by agreeing to put Generico over, Steen thought this would propel Generico into the main event scene. However, following this, Generico went on to lose TV matches and was just nowhere near the main event scene. Cornette told Steen he would be gone for a few months and he needed to lose some weight before returning. Steen did, losing 40 pounds. However, Ring of Honor was then sold and Cornette told Steen to wait another 6 months, in which Steen would regain all that weight. And when Steen did come back, there was constant clashes over Steen's direction and the two just didn't see eye to eye at all. Number 8, the Young Bucks. Some more absolutely polarizing figures. Many people might call the Young Bucks the best tag team in the world, but many others might call them overrated, super kick spammers, killing the business. The Young Bucks is what Jim Cornette would label as cosplay wrestlers, and it can be assumed that Jim Cornette doesn't enjoy the Young Bucks due to their wrestling styles and the fact that he believes they're killing the business. On episode 141 of Jim Cornette's Drive-Thru, Cornette explained how the Young Bucks thought Cornette's hatred for them was a work, and he references a moment where Jim was invited to a GFW show by Jeff Jarrett where the Young Bucks were also there. He claimed he walked into the locker room and saw the Young Bucks there. It was the first time he'd seen them since the Young Bucks had infamously super kicked a kid for his birthday, which was a pretty divisive incident in wrestling. Jim walked past and said, "Hey Bucks, good to see you. We got the only angle in wrestling anyone believes," which that quote was apparently where the Bucks believed it was all a work. But it's not a work because Jim Cornette does not like them. For real. Number 9, Joey Janela. Joey Janela is hated by Jim Cornette. If you've ever heard Jim Cornette say the words Outlaw Mud Show, there's a good chance that in the next couple of words, Joey Janela's name will be part of that conversation. Joey Janela went viral after a spot which saw him jump off a roof through glass on a car. It was crazy, and that is exactly the kind of thing Jim believes does not belong in wrestling. He infamously refers to Joey Janela as Jelly Nutella, and the two have exchanged many words online, and lawyers have even been involved. At one point, a cease and desist letter was sent to Janela and Sonny Kiss as they named their tag team the New Midnight Express. But while Janela is absolutely hated by Cornette, he's not even the Joey that Cornette hates the most. And I ain't talking about baby kangaroos. Number 10, Joey Ryan. Many of you might disagree with Jim's opinions on the previous wrestlers on this list, and you might even be fans of some of them. But surely, this is one we can all get behind. Joey Ryan drew major criticism due to his gimmick that he played. Essentially, the gimmick he played was a sex pest who used his penis for offense. Yeah, weird stuff. And this is the wrestler that Jim Cornette easily hated the most, as he just absolutely disagreed with Joey's style of wrestling and persona. Joey Ryan was the personification of everything Jim Cornette hates about modern wrestling. And it's made even worse by everything that came out about Joey Ryan in the last year or so. But yeah, that's it. Those are just 10 of the many wrestlers that Jim Cornette dislikes. If you guys want me to do some videos about the history of the Jim Cornette-Vince Russo feud, I will very happily do that. For now though, I've been Top 10 Wrestling. Smash the like button, leave a comment what video you want to see next. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and all my social medias linked down below. Check out my second channel for wrestling interviews and NWA reviews. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye, and keep on rolling.
Holy crap. There are tons of wrestlers that Jim hates and that he cannot stand, and yet those are his own opinions and he has the rights. And, well, we can't do anything about that, and that's just crazy. And the feud between him and Santino, I did not realize that, and that's one of the reasons why he's no longer working with WWE, and especially in the late 2017 at a convention, and those two were at each other's throats like that. Whoa, that's wild. And who knew that he used to be a fan of the FTR, especially that everything changed with that match between Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. Talk about, what's the word? Heartbroken? Well, I'm pretty sure that's irrelevant, but Jim is being Jim, so there's that. And I forgot that he also has his own podcast, so that's my fault on that. And yet, I never met the dude. After all, we're both born in Louisville, straight to the Ville. That's what's up. So, will I ever get a chance to meet this guy? Well, hopefully, if there isn't any chance of, if there's going to be a Derby City Comic-Con, hopefully this summer. But only time will tell. But, damn. Especially, the only thing that's disturbing is that using a women's tampon as a weapon, gross. I mean, you really can't tell where it's been. And I'm going to stop right there, otherwise that things are going to be so disturbing and vile. And I apologize, because that's pretty messed up. But let's give a shout out to the Top 10 Wrestling for making this video. And please subscribe to them and give support. And mostly, thank you, Shadow, for this video. And yeah, this is the legendary man who just likes to gives expression of his opinions and the things that he hates. And words do exchange, and that lead to a feud and beef. That's one of the reasons I stay the hell away from it. But if you guys do enjoy this, and if you believe that this brings a whole lot of entertainment, of a lot of surprises and the things that you did not know, then hit that like button and also leave the comments down below, and I will catch y'all in the next video. So take care, guys, and be safe.